Senior U.S. lawmaker confirms Egypt warned Israel 3 days before onslaught.
Here's a summary of the article.
Cookies, device identifiers, or other information can be stored or accessed on your device for the purposes presented to you. Ads can be shown to you based on the content you're viewing, the app you're using, your approximate location, or your device type. Personalized ads can be shown to you based on a profile about you. Market research can be used to learn more about the audiences who visit sites, apps and view ads. Your device can receive and send information that allows you to see and interact with ads and content. Different devices can be determined as belonging to you or your household in support of one or more of purposes. Your device might be distinguished from other devices based on information it automatically sends, such as IP address or browser type.
This post received a score of 31,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
That's pretty damning for Netanyahu and Israeli intelligence, no?
It's such a disaster that I don't see how Netanyahu's career is ever going to recover from this. I suppose it could always happen, but this is truly a proof of plain sheer incompetency and carelessness that caused the highest civilian casualties toll in Israel since 1948.
The Clinton administration had intelligence that something big was being planned and passed it along to Bush and company. They did nothing with it. Then a few months later 9/11 happened. George Bush gets re-elected 3 years later. Sad to say, but I think Bibi will be just fine.
The last time Bibi lost the PM, it was largely because he was seen as lacking in security for the country. It is his biggest weakness.
Wasn't it some kind of corruption scandal? And it looked like he wouldn't be president but ended up in power again?
The corruption scandal didn't turn into anything. His party is made up of people who are kind of in a cult of personality and also people who are center-right and think that he is good for security and are uninspired by other leadership. He lost a lot of support post-election when he formed a coalition with Ben Gvir, and he lost even more support with the judicial reform. He has no natural successor in Likud. This has not mattered because despite the unpopularity, his coalition has not broken down, triggering new elections.
So the ultimate question ends up being, what happened? Because this failure is on a monumental scale. I think one of the reasons why Israel now is going to hit Gaza so hard is to make up for what happened. Because of the level of failure that occurred, the current government will stomp their feet and lay siege to Gaza. I'm sure they will hope people forget all that occurred on day one.
Going to be similar to 9/11 for the U.S. Incompetency will be swept aside in favor of revenge. It's a lot easier to point at others than to look inward at your own failures. And much like with the U.S., it will be an excuse to be overly aggressive.
Now if that were to happen today where there were warnings, and it still occurred. The fact that terrorism is such a major threat globally. This was not something viewed as incredibly unlikely and can't imagine. That should be taken very seriously, especially when other countries are giving you the heads up.
Greater than the idea of an attack of that scale on U.S. soil seemed absurd. I think this is exactly what happened with Israel tbh. The attacks they expect are sporadic missile launches and either individuals or small groups of infiltrators. They didn't think Hamas could launch such an large, organized attack, and if they could, their intelligence services would give them a heads up.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.